2026 playoffs are finally here, and I'm gonna have to spoil it for you guys. I'm sorry. These are not predictions. These are spoilers for what is going to happen. I've seen it all. I know it all. So let's just get straight into it, I guess. Starting off with the reigning champions, OKC Thunder versus the Suns, who just won their play-in game. I actually had a feeling the Warriors would be here, but that did not happen. So I guess I don't know everything, but OKC versus Suns. Listen, obviously 1v8. I'm going to go with the first seed, the reigning champions. I do think they're going to win. I think it'll be a 4-1. I think there'll be a game, a feels good game by the Suns, and they'll snatch one. But other than that, pretty simple for the OKC. Next up is the Spurs versus the Blazers. Listen, I do like the Blazers, but unfortunately for Danny Avdija, I think this is a nightmare matchup for him, and I think Wembanyama is going to absolutely make his life hell. Listen, like Avdija, he's my most improved player this season. I think the foul baiting, it's not always enjoyable, the free throws, but I think this series, especially for him, I really think it's going to be a nightmare. I don't think he's going to be able to get past that rim protection from Wembanyama, and I have the Spurs sweeping the Blazers, so I don't think they're going to get a game. If it was a different matchup for the Blazers, maybe I could see him sneaking one, but I just think, especially with Wembanyama, then he's going to have a very, very hard time. So, it's a sweep. Now, this next one is annoying because it's the Lakers versus the Rockets, and obviously the Lakers are, they're more of a hospital than a basketball team right now, with Luka, Reeves both injured, and I don't know if they're going to be back for most of the series, maybe if it goes to 7 or something, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think this will be a sweep, which is annoying. I say it's annoying because I probably would have said that the Rockets would destroy the Lakers anyway. I'm not big on the Lakers this season. I think they are completely overrated, even if Luka was available. I think he is literally the only reason why they could have won a game or two in this series anyway. People like to say the Rockets are horrible. Like, they act like the Rockets are just downright trash. But it's still a good team, guys, okay? They have their issues, but it's still a decent team. They are still the 5th seed. So I would have had the Lakers losing anyway, but especially they're relying on 50-year-old LeBron to carry them until Luka can come back with half a leg. And I also think LeBron is going to be he's going to be a bit embarrassed in this series, in my opinion. I think it might be as bad to the fact that LeBron will be faking an injury, one of those ankle injuries he likes to pull, by maybe the second game. I don't even know if he's going to try and finish the series. I think it might be that bad. So I have the Rockets sweeping them. Maybe they get a feels-good game in LA, but I just don't see it. I think the Rockets, they have their issues, but they're still better than a Luka Reeves-less Lakers, and I think it would be an absolute miracle for them to win the series, let alone get a few games. If Luka was here, maybe I would probably say they'd get a game, maybe 2, but I'm not big on the Lakers anyway. I would have said they would have capitulated anyway, even if they were fit, but they're not fit. It's a shame it happened at the time of season, but I have the Rockets sweeping in 4. Next up, it's a juicy one, or what everyone likes to say is a juicy one, which personally I don't think it is. It's the Nuggets versus the Wolves. Listen, the history of these two teams, I am a Nuggets fan. I'll be clear with you. I'm a Nuggets fan, so obviously I'm a bit biased, you could say, but I try to remove that when I'm doing these things. I personally don't think the Timberwolves are as good as they were before, and I think this is the best Nuggets team ever around Jokic. I know they haven't shown it in terms of record, they still haven't been the best, but they've completely disheveled with injuries this entire season, still getting the 54 wins. I think this is going to be a more simple series than people think. I think it will be Nuggets in 5. I also, they're playing today, but I also have news that apparently Ant is questionable for game 1 as well, which makes it even worse. Even if he is back in game 2, how ready will he be? I'm unsure. The Nuggets also finding form at the end of the season. A few tanking teams in there, a few scrappy wins, but I think this will be a more simple series than it has been the past 2 years. And I think the Nuggets, especially this season, with how good we've been at shooting the three, I think originally that was the issue, but against the Timberwolves, that they could just kind of clog the paint and hope we missed our shots. But now we have so many shooters, the best 3-point percentage in the league, with guys like Cam Johnson shooting 43% from three, and then you also have Jokic and Jamal and all these other great 3-point players like Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off the bench. Even Bruce Brown the last few games, you know, in the ending stretch of the season, he's been crazy from three. But I think this will be a more simple series than people think, and I have the Nuggets going through in 5. Now then, here in the Eastern Conference, we now have the Pistons versus the Magic. I see this as a sweep. Pistons, obviously the first seed, doing very good season. I'll get more about them later on, but I just don't think Magic have it. Paolo Banchero is he's not that guy. He hasn't been that guy. Simple. 4 Pistons and 4 sweep. Next up is the Celtics versus 76ers. 76ers are missing Joel Embiid. 76ers are not going to get through the Celtics. The Celtics are very good. One of my favourites this season. One of the favourites for most people this season. I think they'll get a game because Maxey is a very good player. And they do have fight, in my opinion. They do have some quality. I just think without Joel Embiid, they really don't stand a chance. Even with Joel Embiid, did they stand a chance? No offence. Playoff Joel Embiid. But I see this as a pretty simple series for Boston. 4-1. Boston in 5. Next up is the Cavs versus the Raptors. I'm a big fan of the Cavs personally. I know they didn't have they started off really well once they got James Harden, then they kind of dimmed off a bit, and towards the end of the season they didn't really finish incredibly, but I have this pretty simple. Cavs in 5. I just think the talent pool is too wide a gap. Next up, the Knicks versus the Hawks. I think this will be a bit more of a battle. I'm not that big on the Knicks, to be completely honest. I know playoff Jalen Brunson is obviously a great player, but I think the Hawks have a decent bit of quality. I think it'll be I do think the Knicks will get over the line here. I think it will be Knicks in 6. But I think Hawks will show a bit of fight. You know, maybe the ghost of Trae Young will give them. Well, the ghost of Trae Young didn't really do much. Guess he got a conference finals, but other than that, you know. But I have the Knicks in 6 here. I think I do think it'll be a bit of a battle, but it'll be a comfortable 6 rather than a shaky 6 for the New York Knicks here. And that is the first round completely done. Now we will move on to the Western Conference second round. Starting off the second round in the Western Conference, it's OKC versus the Rockets. Yeah, I think this is not going to be fun for the Rockets. The OKC are going to absolutely destroy them, kind of. Even though I do have the Rockets taking a game. OKC in 5. I just think OKC will absolutely make the Rockets turn the ball over so much. They have the perfect squad to just blitz whatever ball handlers the Rockets even have. I'm sorry, but KD is going to average 20 turnovers a game, as great as he is. And I only have the Rockets taking one because I think there'll probably be a night where the Rockets defense is good and OKC can't shoot a three for their lives, which they do every now and then. And then the Rockets will take one, but other than that, I think it will be pretty simple for OKC. OKC in 5. They get to the Western Conference Finals. Now then, the Nuggets versus the Spurs, second round. The Spurs will be slightly more rested in my opinion, and I think it'll be an easier cakewalk against the Blazers rather than the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves, even though I do think both series will be similarly easy to a degree. Not easy, but you know what I mean. And I have Denver in 6. Wembanyama is not able to stop Nikola Jokic. That is the ultimate fact. Obviously, I respect Spurs. They won 60 games, but I'll mention this again with the Pistons. I think a bit of that is due to the fact that they're young and that they're excited to bring it every regular season game, where more seasoned teams like the Denver Nuggets, of course, way more injured as well, but more seasoned team like the Denver Nuggets, they, trust me, I've watched them quite a bit because I am a fan. Some of them first to third quarters are horrible to watch because you can just tell they don't care. In the fourth quarter, they try and win it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And of course, injuries also affect record. But I think the Denver Nuggets are more proven. They're older, they're more experienced, they've been in this place before. I also believe that Wembanyama's injury concerns going into the playoffs are a bit worrying. I mean, throughout the entire season, he hasn't played quite a bit, which could also be more impressive to the fact that Spurs still won so many games with him not playing as much as other superstars. But I have Denver in 6. Ultimately, I think they've been here before. I think it's just a bit too early for the Spurs. I think it'll be a good learning curve, and I also believe that, as I said before, no one can get at Wembanyama like Nikola Jokic, because ultimately Nikola Jokic is the greatest offensive player of all time. I'm not disrespecting Wembanyama by saying that, you know, he can't stop Jokic. No one can stop Jokic offensively. So I have Denver in 6. I think it'll be a spicy series. I think it will be a battle, but I do think Denver will get over the line in 6. I could see a 7-game series, but I just have a feeling, you know. Back on the eastern side of the bracket here, Celtics versus the Cavs. Sorry, Pistons versus the Cavs. I think this will be one hell of a matchup. I think this is going to 7. And I have the Cavs winning it. I know, James Harden winning a Game 7. I know, it's a... could you believe your eyes? I really like this Cavs team. I'll be completely honest. I think their offense can get going and flurry at any moment, and it is so dangerous. I think Harden, you know, even if his field goal, if he does have a 25% field goal game, I think his playmaking is so good now that with the surrounding team around him, he won't be the cause of capitulation, because his playmaking can still affect the game, even if he's not shooting as well in these tough games. And I have the Cavs winning in 7. I think it'll be a crazy series, drama. The Pistons will make it hard, you know, how defensively solid they are, but the Cavs, this offense, Donovan Mitchell has had a very underrated season in my opinion, and I also think just this Cavs offense, you know, with Allen and all these great players, I just think the Cavs will win it. I think it would be a cracker of a series. I think it would be 7 games, wire to wire, could go any way, and I just think the Cavs would do it. Again, partly due to the fact that Detroit are young. It's the first time doing it, like the Spurs I mentioned earlier. But I have the Cavs in 7. Boston versus Knicks. This one I have Boston going through in 5. And I'll state why. Brunson and Cat are both defensive liabilities, and I think Boston has just way too much quality overall for the Knicks to deal with. I think they're going to absolutely attack Brunson and Cat at all times, and I think they're just so deep. The Celtics, they just have so many guys, and that is in this era. It's so important, as you can see with OKC. It's so important to have just this deep roster you can always, count on. I think they'll just completely. I think they'll catch fire and they will just not lose it. So I have the Knicks losing in 5 to the Celtics. Staying in the Eastern Conference here, the Celtics versus the Cavs. Another Game 7 in my opinion. But this time, even though I love the Cavs, I like Celtic more. I have Boston going through in 7. Again, I think it'll be another cracker of a series. Boston are so deep. They have a great offense and great defense. And the Cavs, I think they'll really run out of fumes by the end. They'll show fight, but I think ultimately it will end with Boston making the finals. Do I hear a rematch? Yeah, I do. OKC versus Denver Nuggets. Let me say it. Nuggets in 6. Obviously, OKC are a very, very good team. But I'm such a believer in this Denver side. And ultimately, I think it comes down to this. Denver have the best in the world. Nikola Jokic. It's that man. I think he'll be able to turn the tide of this series in 6. I don't see another Game 7. Obviously I could. I'm saying 6, not worlds apart here. But ultimately they have Jokic. And I think this time, last year, Jokic was dealing with a worse roster, a not as deep roster, with guys who were also partly injured. Aaron Gordon, half injured. Jamal Murray in the final couple games, half injured. Michael Porter Jr., the entire series, shoulder injury. Now the Nuggets are deeper, and Jamal Murray will also be a huge part to play. He's come off a career season. Jamal Murray is known for being a playoff riser. Last 2 seasons has been it. In 2025, I will give him a bit of credit. They were very hard defenses that the Nuggets went against. But this is the best Jamal Murray we have ever seen. Ever. I think this Denver Nuggets side are proven winners as well. And they know how to survive when going gets tough. Obviously, I monitor the Nuggets very closely because I am a fan. And the vibes this entire season has been that the Nuggets players truly believe that they can win it. They're not faking this. They're being completely honest. Everything that comes out is that they believe they are able to win the championship and that they can, that they're one of the favourites and they're, on their day, no one can stop them. And if you want to call me biased, I just want to let you know, last year I didn't predict Denver to beat OKC. I had OKC beating them in the Western Conference Finals because I didn't think that Denver were good enough last year. But now I do think they are. I think they're deeper. I think they're better. I think hopefully more healthier. Obviously the health of Aaron Gordon will, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, and Peyton Watson and all players will be accounted for here. But this time I think ultimately the Denver Nuggets have a better team than last year, a deeper team than last year. Players like Jamal have taken a step up. And they have the best in the world. Nikola Jokic, the MVP. One of the greatest players of all time. And I have the Denver Nuggets getting through it. When the going gets tough, I think Denver gets tougher. We've seen that throughout the season. When Jokic went down, when half the roster went down, it was Jamal Murray by himself pretty much. Jamal Murray and Zeke Naji and half the players you couldn't even name. And Jamal Murray was the shining hope throughout that time. He fought hard, he showed spirit, and I think this is the best Denver Nuggets team we've ever seen, and I think they're going to beat OKC in 6. That sets up the finals. The Nuggets versus Boston. The finals. Boston versus the Nuggets. Now, I really like Boston, and I like the Denver Nuggets more. I have the Denver Nuggets in 6 here. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything or build it up. I have Denver in 6. They're both going to come off a very, very hard game series, in my opinion. I don't think the Eastern Conference Finals will be a walk for Boston. I think they will have to fight through it, much as Denver will have to as well. Obviously, Denver, you can call this the gauntlet of doom for Denver. This is one of the greatest rings of all time, I'm predicting, you could say. But that is how much I believe in Denver Nuggets. And ultimately, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Modern Shaq and Kobe, some may say. This duo is one of the greatest duos of all time. And you add in Aaron Gordon. Jesus. I just want to tell you, Aaron Gordon. I love Jamal Murray. Nikola Jokic is my most favourite player of all time. He got me into basketball. He made me fall in love with the sport. Aaron Gordon is my second favourite player of all time. That man, Mr. Nugget, he is the tipping point of this team. If Aaron Gordon is healthy, and most of the team as well as him are generally healthy, I have the Denver Nuggets winning the championship this season. I think they are deeper than ever. They are more talented than ever. This is the best roster around, the best version of Nikola Jokic ever. I have them stepping up their defense in the playoffs. And I just want to tell you, Denver against the best teams in the league this season, they haven't won every game. They haven't dominated every game. But it's always close. Overtime versus OKC. Margins versus all the best teams. Denver Nuggets don't get blown out by the best teams. They haven't really got blown out by the best teams at all this season. It's always close. It's always overtime. It's always that one shot. And I think it's the best version of Denver Nuggets we've ever seen, around the best version of Nikola Jokic. And my belief in Nikola Jokic has me continuing my preseason opinion that the Denver Nuggets will be the 2026 NBA champions. If you disagree, leave a comment. Also drop a like. I know I'm sorry for spoiling it. We all want to enjoy the playoffs, but I have spoiled it for you. This is what is going to happen. Thanks for listening. Let's see what happens.